Darn it. Oh my goodness. I don't think this can interface with anything. I gotta look at that. Doo-doo-doo. What's this? Oh, that's my. Whoa. Almost lost the stand. That's the air. Oh my gosh. This has to go out. This, I don't know, can go there. I don't know why this doesn't go. It does go a little higher. Okay. All right. Oh, I need a battery. Is this? Well, that is messed up. I gotta bend that back. That's. Ow. Oh, and it broke. That's not good. It's not good at all. Maybe I'll have to cut this and put alligator clips on the end of it. Might be better. This isn't good. Those are kind of flimsy. That's what I might have to do. Cut those and solder alligator clips on those. Oh, it has Nina Phillips to get that battery out. Alright. This is more garbage. This, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out. Alright, who's all here? We're just kind of straightening up stuff yet. From Sunday. Why isn't there... That might be too much. I don't have anything else that's flat. This I'm gonna retighten. Thought there'd be a book or something that I can put this on to boost it up so it's not so, because I don't think this is gonna work, because the fact it's a box with the flaps, I don't think it's heavy enough. Let's give it a shot. Oh my goodness. That is sketchy as all get out. You always have to put like some, I don't know how that's gonna freaking work. That is sketchy. Wow. Well, maybe, I don't know. Does this, it did sink down. No, that's sketchy. That ain't gonna work at all. That's gonna fall over in like no time. So that's not gonna work. Nix that idea. I gotta come up with something better, that's for sure. Uh-oh. I got spillage. Why is this like so sketchy tonight? Is it just the air? Is it just something that's going around? And it just seems sketchy. Here, let's do this. Let's put a shim underneath the front leg and see if that helps our situation. And let's try turning it where like actually people are going to be. Would be amazing. All right, we got, who's all here? Says 3 people's here, but nobody's saying anything. I guess nobody wants to talk tonight. So, got this mic. That's garbage. What's this? More garbage. Cripes. Oh, that's that fitting. Ow. Dave, what's up, buddy? How we doing? Let's see. Anybody else out there? in YouTube live land? Or is Dave the only one who's showing up today? Because that's good, Dave. Do anything cool today, being retired and all? Do any more golfing or fishing or anything? Oh wait, Dave, you said weren't you going to Canada or somewhere up north to do? Last time I talked, you were going up north somewhere. Were you gonna go fishing or something? Or am I off on that? I'll wait and see. Ooh, what's that? That may be what I need. Since the other one's dried up. Does this one work? Ooh. Ooh, does this work? Is it dried up? Will it work? Ooh, glass chalk. You played golf. Cool. Yes. The wire's on, Dave. If you like, Dave, I'll show you how it looks. I'm just finishing up zip tying everything into place right now on it, but it is run. The wire is run, Dave, and the car picked up. Ooh, it looks like this might work. The car picked up 2.5 volts just by going to a thicker wire. So I'm hoping that with it picking up 2.5 volts. Oh, that's cool. The wire is now a 4-gauge wire, so it's like, well, I'll show you. I have a piece right here. As soon as I get it here. So I went from a wire that resembled something like this on here. That's what was on the car. We were barely at 12 volts on Sunday with the car running, and now that's the wire we have on the car, which now we're over 14 volts, and that's at idle. So on the launch video, you can see the car nose over. So the theory we came up with was that we don't have, with that wire being that small, we probably don't have enough current and voltage going to the ignition system and or the electric fuel pump that's in the tank. So with that being said, we put the thicker wire on, we gained 2.5 volts. So now we're hoping that that's going to cure the car nosing over on the starting line. So Dave, I'm going to give you a tour here. So let's get this going here. So here's where the is now. This is where it's going to be routed right directly to the alternator here, and then it's going to go down there, and you can see down there where it goes through the firewall where the ECM wiring is coming through. And then we'll go to the back here. Hang on. Doing some work again at the rear of the car. Yeah, we made one pass, Dave. We made one pass. That was it. And then that's when we discovered the electrical problem. So then I have to finish routing it, see it's hanging out, but we have it all cut. It's hooked up here to the master disconnect here. And like I said, we did, I fired it up last night, and just at idle, it was 2.5 volts more than it was with the other wire. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it. So I'm trying to figure out, because I have stuff going on this weekend. I'm trying to figure out when we can get it to the track. I'd like to go this coming Sunday, but I have to see if there's anything else going on. They have a test and tune at Island Dragway. That's in Great Meadows, New Jersey, off Route 46. So I want to see if that's even a possibility to do. And I think a test and tune would be better, as far as that's actually what we're going to be doing, is testing and tuning the car, making sure it's ready, as opposed to trying to throw ourselves feet first into a race situation and scrambling around. So I may look into something like that. I don't know if this Sunday will work or not, but um, again, it's a short notice for me, and I have to talk to people involved to make sure everything is okay and works out. Besides, I still need to get the brakes bled um, to hold more RPM on the line. I can only hold 2,500, which is really stupid, really disappointing, but it is what it is. So that's what's going on there. So feeling optimistic about the wiring of it. Oh, that's the other problem. I forgot. I have a header bolt that's ready to fall out. And I have to see. Yeah, this one's loose too. What the hell is going on this passenger side? That's no good. Because this one's loose. What? Did that one... That one fell out. What the fuck is going on? And that one's loose. I know I tightened these. Okay, well that's kind of disturbing. Why are all these header bolts loose just on the passenger side? Yet another mystery that I need to solve. Might have to see what Crank Nug, if he's around, ask him. Yeah, because all these are loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bolt out. I want to see, wonder if I can put lock washers on here. Because I'm afraid to put Loctite on an aluminum head. But that's what we got. That's all loose. One of them did fall out. I have to see. I may have an extra somewhere. If not, I'll get something at the hardware store. But there's a problem here. I gotta look for a lock washer. I saw last night that one sticking out. Now today in the daylight, I see they're all loose. And just on the passenger side, I think those are 3/8. Let's check before I go ahead making any assumptions. I don't think they're 7/16. Let me check. No, they are 3/8. Let me check the other header bolts on the driver's side. And let's see if they're tight. Yeah, see, this is weird. Why would only the passenger side header bolts be loose? That's really weird. That's a mystery. So, yeah, these are all tight. And then we have the ones on the passenger side, they're all loose. Let me make sure that the other bolts are here, because that one's there, but it's backed off. That one's tight, that one's backed off, that one's backed off, and that one's missing. We're going to have to do lock washers because, like I said, I don't trust putting Loctite on threads in an aluminum head. So I'm going to have to look into this. This is a mystery yet again. We have another mystery we need to figure out here at Big E's. Why that happened. Yeah. Obviously I have to get that done. Figured out, fixed before we head to the check. I think a lock washer would do it, but oh, here's a header bolt. Have one in my toolbox. So yeah, problem is getting to it, and I'm not gonna put it in there just to take it back out because I'm gonna have to put a lock washer on it anyway. Anyway, now I have that taken care of. Now I just got to figure out the lock washer deal. So yeah. Yeah. So sorry guys, I'm a little, again, one of those days I'm just tired and I don't know. I think I know why, but I just wish I wasn't. I wish I could have more steam, more energy, yada yada yada. I wish I could, but I don't. I'm worn out, beat up, tired. Um, Ever have one of those weeks? Um, you just oh wait, Jess, wait, is that you? Hey Jess, how you doing? Uh, just was going over the loosening bolt mystery that we just found 2 minutes ago on a car. So I was just mentally going over that out loud and what we need to do to fix it. That's good, Jess. Thanks for checking in, by the way. Hey, guess what? You made it to the live. Woo! Jess is always giving me putting comments. She's always like, "Dang it, I missed the live." Blah 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 blah. I missed the live. I'm sorry. She's used to Jay over on Steinmetz. He had 7-Eleven. That thing goes on. He's there. Me, dude, it could be any time. It could be as late as 11 o'clock at night sometimes till I get around to doing a live. Or I'll go days without doing without doing one. So it's kind of hard to to consistently catch me sometimes is hard. Me, that's a good question, Jess. I'm good, but I'm frazzled. Stressed, frazzled, whatever, but I'm good. I'm still getting off the whole high of being able to go do some racing, getting back in the seat, working on the race car again, figuring stuff out. I'm kind of jazzed with that, and that has me going in a good way. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, about what's going on with my mom. So, since I said it, and we're going to go ahead and go down that path. She is awake now. Actually, I was surprised. I went in to visit her with Dad tonight. I was very surprised how good she was, how good she looked, how good she was responding, how just everything. It's like there seemed to be no grogginess. She seemed to be like really alert, really with it. I mean, yeah, she's banged up from the bee stings. You can see that, and the other things, and from having how many fucking shots, needles, stuff stuck in her while she was in there. But she's alert. She's awake. I was talking with her. Her and Dad were they were talking and kind of like jabbing at each other on one or two times. But it was good. The only thing that worries me right now, she got this idea in her head that she's coming home tomorrow. I don't think so. I think maybe Saturday might be more of a realistic approach to it, I guess. Realistic idea. Because I would think they'd want to keep her in there at least one more day. I mean, they just brought her out today, this afternoon. They just brought her out from under. So I would think they probably want to have her, they want to monitor everything and make sure that everything's good. She did go to the bathroom while I was there. So that my dad said that's always a big deal. So that's good. Yeah. Right. I agree, Jess. So I see that, she's anxious to get home. Honestly, I don't blame her. When I'm in the hospital, I don't exactly want to hang around either. But yet, the second part of your statement, Jess, is true. She needs to be where she can be, her medical well-being needs to be priority and needs to be at a good place, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, yeah. But she from Monday night into Tuesday, when we weren't even sure if she was going to make it, if we would be planning a funeral instead of her coming home, to her waking up today and just being alert and the way she was, it's been a roller coaster. I mean, it's I'm glad. Just I was getting out of the truck after because I took dad out for dinner. That way he wouldn't have to worry about cooking or anything. And I figured, hey, I'm hungry too. So uh, when I came home, I got out of the truck. It's just I don't know why, but am I a terrible person for thinking that? I think to a point she understands what happened. Um, I want to see what hair goes from here forward. Um, but getting back to, I mean, I don't know if I'm a terrible person for thinking this, but I got out of the truck and I thought to myself, my God, I just can't wait for this week to be over. It has been a roller coaster every week emotionally for me. I don't like to advertise or really get into my personal stuff, which Jay thinks I need to, so it shows that I'm a person and not just a channel, which I understand that I do. Uh, but I feel it's Thursday. I feel like I put in like a 70-hour work week with all this. Just between stuff with my mom. Uh, like I said, the emotional high from Sunday, going to the track and actually making a pass with the car, and just the whole exhilaration, excitement with that, the disappointment with the electrical issue, to the excitement of being able to have where my equipment, my trailer, worked, the truck worked good, to the um, the anxiety of Monday when this all started with my mom, to Monday night into Tuesday where we weren't even sure if she was going to make it out of the hospital alive, to okay, things are slowly improving, to today where she's awake, alert, and being able, talking and having conversation and stuff. And then, of course, the stuff going on with my kids and just trying to get this up and going, to where it's not such a big deal for me. Yeah, you're right, Jess. It feels like a roller coaster, and I don't even like roller coasters, but I've been on one this week, and I'm tired. I think I'm mentally just about done. Physically, I'm beat. I'm done. I did some work on the car since I got back from the hospital, but I'm beaten. I'm just doing it to keep myself busy and just yeah. I mean, that's just how I feel. I'm tired. I don't like to say that as like, because they go, oh, Eric thinks he works so hard, or Eric this or no. I'm just tired, and I don't know. I don't think there's any amount of sleep that's going to make it go away anytime soon. I wish there was. I wish there was some kind of energy drink or a pill or a vitamin, whatever I could take that would just make me feel like, 5 years ago. I wish there was, because I've been battling with my energy and other things for a while. But there isn't, so you just figure out how to get through it and go from there. So I think that's kind of where I'm at. Excuse me, sorry. Um. So yeah, but yeah, I wish I could chill. I know that's why I'm looking out my trailer door, because I know they're gonna be home soon. The kids are gonna be wacky, and everybody's gonna be nuts, and I'm just I'm not ready for that. I'm ready for. I could take an ice cold glass of ice water and sit in my chair and just be like, okay, I could stand doing this for like, a couple hours, just sitting and trying to just get my bearings. But I know that's not going to happen. So I'm just kind of cringing at them coming home. And I probably shouldn't be that way, but that's kind of how I feel. Just keeping it real for everybody. But no, I mean it's good. She's awake. She's doing what she seems she's doing pretty well. She used the bathroom when I was there, and all good signs. So we'll just wait and see when she gets home and how things go, and uh, go from there at this point. So anyway, um, I'm just cleaning up the trailer, um, doing some stuff to the car. Yeah, and the thing is, she agrees with that. That's my thing, but it's like she agrees with it, but yet actually executing it are two different things. So, which I get it to a point, but to a point, it's like I really need some time sometimes. But it is what it is. So, I'm gonna keep everybody posted about Sunday. What if I do or don't go over to Island Dragway and take the car out? I don't know yet. It all depends um, with what's going on with my mom and stuff, to see what's all transpires there and how quickly or how slowly things evolve there. Um, Also waiting to hear word from the guy from Lloyd, if he's able to go or not. Um, so we'll see. Right now, it's just a brain fart about maybe going Sunday. It's a test and tune, but if not, I mean, there's going to be other ones too. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Jess. I agree. All this stuff I agree with. So now I got to figure out why these bolts are getting loose. I don't know. I can't Loctite them. I just think with aluminum that would be a bad idea. I appreciate it, Jess. No, that's fine, Jess. I totally agree. But agreeing and knowing what you need and actually getting that, we all know, are sometimes two different things. So um, that's kind of where I'm at with it. So now, who's yelling? I tell you, who's yelling in the neighborhood? I grew up in this neighborhood. Used to not be. Um, Used to not be a bad neighborhood. Then we got some people in here. Yeah, bolts are getting loose. Problem is, it goes into aluminum. My question is, if I put a lock washer on there, am I still going to have enough threads that they're going to catch the threads in the head and be able to tighten the exhaust header to the head? I guess it's one of those. I just have to try it. I have to get lock washers and try it. See what happens. If not, then I have to see if I get a little longer. But I obviously can't race it with exhaust bolts loosening up. And I lost one. Well, luckily I have an extra ones in my toolbox, so that's why I have this one to replace the one that fell out. So yeah, I got to figure that out. That should be maybe tomorrow's thing to figure out. They do make the plumber stuff, and you know what? If the bolts are going into like a water jacket, like where coolant runs through, I would totally do that. However, The other thing I'm wondering too is with the amount of heat there, because it's an exhaust header, if it would melt that off. I don't know. So good suggestion. I just don't know if that would work um, on so much heat, where a lot of heat is. So I'm gonna try the lock washers. I think I'm gonna try the lock washers on here. And maybe if that doesn't work, then maybe what I'll have to do is maybe I will wrap it in uh, Teflon tape, like a plumber's tape type stuff. Maybe I'll put a dab on there as well and see how that works. Because what's really weird is the driver's side one is tight. Like the day I redid it before I loaded it on the trailer, the driver's side's all tight. What I don't understand is why is the passenger side loosening up only? And why is it all of them? Wait, hang on a minute. Why is she barking like that? Yeah, I don't know what that was. Oh boy. Oh, I missed the comment. It flashed away too fast. I gotta figure out if there's a way I can make the comments stay up so I can read. Why, Jetta? Relax. No. Okay? I don't even know what you're barking at. Dude, I don't see anything. She might be barking at deer. Are you barking at deer? I don't even see anything. Alright. Oh my gosh. Dog's gonna drive me nuts. Yeah, I mean, all good theories. I honestly don't know why it's only the passenger side. What matters is I got to figure out how to fix it. And I think doing lock washers might be the way to go because of the heat. Hey, this dog is nuts. Well, she's all amped up. I think it was last night. I was cleaning up stuff in the trailer. It was dark. Had the flashlight. And I saw about maybe 5 or 6 pair of eyes in the yard. Hey, enough. Stop it. In the yard. At first I thought it was cats, but the way they were moving, they weren't moving like cats. So here I was able to walk over and I could see they had black around their eyes. So I'm thinking it's a family of raccoons. Yeah, they would. Basically, the only thing that the ideology or the theory behind a lock washer is how how the ends are staggered, so it acts like a little spring. So what it does, it actually provides like pressure against the surface and against the bolt. So when you tighten that together, it like holds it. Jetta, stop, will you? There's nothing over there. Hey! Oh, the cat. That's what she's barking at. The neighbor's cat's running through the other neighbor's yard, so she's losing her shit. Alright, Jetta, chill out. So we have a bunch of raccoons living. Anyway, I was talking about the lock washer. So that's the idea of a lock washer. And that's what makes it work, is the fact that it pushes pressure in between. So with it pushing that pressure, it kind of locks the bolt into it because it has pressure holding it. That's about the easiest way I can think to explain how a lock washer works. Would it come off if I need to get off in a hurry? Yeah. That's the nice thing, as opposed to when you use Loctite and plumber's stuff. Yeah, well, that's what we've been doing. We've been tossing, stuff out there, just to kind of make it easier, make life a little easier for them. They got it hard enough. But also get, make it a little easier to eat for them. Now there's a ton of sirens going. Oh boy. Oh, they're going down past the house here. That's not good. Ambulance and a state cop, that's not good. Hopefully it's nothing too major. So yeah, that's the thing that scares me with the liquid stuff is sometimes that can be a real bear, especially with aluminum cylinder head. Cast iron, I'd be like, yeah, cast iron heads, yeah, I'll put Loctite in there, I'll do whatever. But aluminum, it's so easy to pull threads to mess them up on aluminum head. So I think maybe the safer way might be using a lock washer. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try that first, is using a lock washer, and then see how that is. And go from there. Just it's a little frustrating, but we'll get it figured out. And I gotta, like I said, I gotta go over the brakes again, make sure they're on the up and up. So anyway, that's what's going on. I may or may not. Yeah, you're right. No, it's lighter, which is good. But it's not as it's not as rigid, not as tough as you were saying. It's easy to really mess up threads on aluminum cylinder head. I've done it already with a spark plug. Luckily, I had a spark plug thread chaser. It's kind of like a tap, machinist tap. I have one, and I ran that through. And luckily, I was able to save the threads, and I haven't had an issue since. That was quite a few years ago. But yeah, aluminum is just lightweight and all that stuff. But and the other big problem with aluminum too is they're lighter, but I don't think you make as much power because the heat dissipation rate is much higher than for a cast iron head. A cast iron head, believe it or not, will make a little more power because it holds the heat. You need heat for combustion, so it's a trade-off, I guess. Then cast iron's heavier than aluminum. Then here's the whole thing: is the weight of That's okay. Sometimes having it in your head is probably most of the battle. Being able to figure it out. And I'm real quick story time. Jess. Here we go. So, high school. I was in Votech, took automotive technology. Imagine that. Shocker. I took auto body. Shocker. Anyway, so I think it was like the end of 10th grade into 11th. Even when I started in 10th, taking automotive classes at the Votech, there was a lot of knowledge I have, but my actual hands-on sucked. Like I couldn't really I knew how to fix it, I just couldn't fix it. So then a buddy of mine, Frank, he wasn't quite with the diagnosis part like I was, but he was really good with hands-on. So somehow him and I don't know how, but somehow him and I kept getting teamed up with class project stuff and like that. So I learned a lot from him, and then he started he got into race cars. I was into drag cars. He ran Circle Track late models, so he was all big into that. So I would help him on the weekends that I wasn't racing, work on his late model. So I learned by watching him of doing stuff. So what ended up happening was he really didn't pick up on the diagnosis. I tried to show him, but he just wasn't wired that way, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how his brain was. It is what it is. So fast forward to senior year. We would take, I don't know if remember anything back in the 90s, they used to have these mechanic competitions, where so many Votech schools were allowed to send their, people over and do these competitions. So there's, I think, like we got into a couple of them, and the one big one back in the day was the Chrysler one, and I forget that. I think that was in the middle of the state or something. They had that. It was a trip to get to where the competition was, and we tested for it. But here we didn't score high enough to get the invite. You had to be invited to these competitions, so you had to take a test, and depending how you scored, depended whether your school got an invite or not. So here, what happened was we were at these Chrysler competitions for years. So for whatever reason, my graduating class, we didn't score high enough. But here, I got pulled to the side. My shop teacher told me that I was the highest scoring in the whole school on that test, but it wasn't high enough to get us in. So, it is, the head knowledge needs to be there. You're right. And the thing is, if you use common sense, just like you're saying, for the most part, you can figure a lot of stuff out on fixing a car. At least the stuff I work on. This newer stuff, not so much. Yeah, yeah. Common sense. If you just sit back and you study something, or you just take it apart and look at it, if again, the older I am, I have to be in that certain frame of mind, and the older I get, the harder it is sometimes for me to get there. But when I'm in that zone, I take something apart, I can kind of figure out how it works, and then figure out, okay, then what is it that's going wrong that this isn't working the way it should. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times common sense can get you around something mechanical and figure out how to fix it. And I tell you what really made it easy was the whole deal with the internet. I know that everybody says about YouTube mechanics, blah 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 blah. True, true, but um, there's a lot of stuff on there that I watch, and then I'll look up a certain thing, and if 3 or 4 people are doing it a certain way and it's similar, then I figure that's probably the best way to do it. So that's kind of how I learn of doing stuff. Or I just, I look at it. I used to be able to look at it and just figure it out and do it, and it would work out. And I don't know if it's something now that I'm older, if just I don't have the self-confidence, or what the deal is. But now I kind of look at YouTube, and I try to look at a couple things, a couple different ways of doing it, and see where that goes from there. So I don't know, that's give or take. But yeah, I used to I'm looking for something I just lost. Sorry. So that's what, like my wife's car, working on that. I mean, sometimes that can be, it is like, how the hell? So I'll look it up. And if like 2 or 3 other channels say the same thing, then that's usually the approach I take in fixing or repairing it. So, I don't know where that got to. This is going to bug me now. Where did that thing get to? Oh, that's a wire. That's not it. Sorry. I'll have to look later. But it's going to bother me now. All right. I am not going to lie and say I am done. I'm exhausted. I think I'm going to put a second coat of paint on the rear. And I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm toasted. And before I start babbling on too much, I'm just going to call it. So, not 100% sure about tomorrow night with there's going to be a live or not. Maybe there will be. I'll be going over to the Steinmetz farm. They're going to have a pool and movie night all in one. So, I'm going to be going over there. and hopefully going there. I just remember because the whole, yeah, maybe I'll do that, just because maybe if my mom comes home, that might throw a wrench into the whole logistics of how that's going to happen. But so I have to see how that's all going to play out with that. I'm also on the fence here. It's only on you on here, Jess, but I'll get your opinion. Let me open this up. So let me flip. I'm gonna get your opinion on something, Jess, and then I'm gonna start working. So, you see this panel here, how it is, blah 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 blah. Okay, this is the panel I'm talking about, the black panel. Okay, so you see how it has the Camaro. I don't like when I did this. I mean, those edges look terrible. See that? I don't like it. So what I'm thinking of doing is I want to take the panel off. I want to sand it down. I'm thinking of sanding this down, and I want to repaint it like the matte black, like the Burger panels. The shininess kind of bugs me a little bit. And then the other thing I was wondering too, I don't know if I want to paint it silver first, like use a high metallic silver, and try and tape the letters off, because I just don't like the way this turned out. It looks like it looks cheap and chintzy. You know, go through the whole hassle of masking the letters separately, sanding it again, and then painting it the matte black, and then have like silver letters as opposed to the chintzy looking chrome? Or do I just spray it matte black, the whole thing, letters and all, and don't worry about it? I mean, whatever. I mean, the thing I'm worried about, I'm just worried that if I do it with tape over this silver, that I'm going to get those crappy edges again. And I'm trying to keep that from happening again. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I like where you're going with this, Jess, because that's going to be easier. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a wire wheel on my cordless drill and just clean out the letters, and then sand the rest, primer it, and then I'm just going to shoot the matte black. The matte black's like a 3-part paint, by the way. I'm not using the cheap shit either. I used, PPG, which is expensive paint. So let's see here. Here we go. Oh, crud. Oh, God, I'm getting fat. Oh, that looks not too bad. Would be better if this thing was like in a garage up on stands. It'd be a hell of a lot easier. That looks pretty decent for a rattle can. For something you're really not going to see. But I don't like this. So I'm going to touch this up again. Just maybe. This nozzle is messed up. That nozzle is not working. So I think I may have to do something else. Let's see here. Just what do you got? Yeah, they can. If yeah, you can always wet sand them and get them to shine up a bit. So, oh gosh, oh, that nozzle looks like crap. I think that thing's no bueno. I'll have to see. I'm afraid to put a second coat on there. It's gonna mess it up, and I gotta bleed brakes anyway. So I think I'm not gonna do that. I think it's just gonna. I don't know if you can see. Oh, gosh, I'm getting too old for this crap. I got the tubes here. They don't look terrible. So I think I'm going to leave that alone until I figure out I have another can somewhere, but unfortunately, whoa, it's not nearby. So I think what I'm gonna do, not really. It's not. What I do, for as far as paint with humidity, a lot of the new stuff, especially like PPG, where you're using a reducer and an activator, when it's humid and like hotter, shit, where'd that go? You can use, you can have different speed reducer. What the hell? You can, like when it's cooler, less humidity, you could use a medium reducer. If it's hot and humid, you use a slow reducer. So what I might do, depending when I get around to painting it, I might just do a, if it is humid, I think I have some slow reducer left. I'll just use a slow reducer. And I'm just taking the lights off. These look kind of dirty. I'm gonna have to work on these, clean these up a bit. They look kind of dirty. Now is this? Okay, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Then I gotta get a 10 millimeter. But yeah, I do. By the time I read your comment and disappear, I guess I gotta get this figured out with settings. Why these comments are disappearing so fast? But so yeah. Oh, I gotta take this off. My battery disconnect. And you're not seeing anything. You're just staring at the freaking highway. So let me get you down here so you can see. So we're taking the battery disconnect rod off. Wow, this thing's freaking goes. There we go. And this has gunk on it. Maybe I should clean that up as well. Let's take the nuts off for the tail lights. Okay, now pull this out. Alright, so that's going to go there. Again, I'm going to need a 10 millimeter. That's not held in by just two. One here. I feel like I'm missing something. That's what it seems like. I'm missing some kind of deal here. So let me I don't have my battery ratchet out here. I'm not thinking about it. Do I have any ratchet out here? Oh, here's a 3/8. Now the trick is the infamous 10 millimeter. I can't see with the lighting. Hey, there's a 10 millimeter. Hopefully this will work. Hopefully I don't need it deep, because that would suck. I don't know if I have one out here in the trailer. I probably have to walk all the way over to the garage. Let me get my tripod set up here for everybody. barely fits on there. See, I thought there was 2 in this corner, but I guess not. One nut. This one's kind of, I must have got paint on the threads. It's 2, almost 2. There's 2. Oh boy, come on. Come on. I feel like I'm videoing like shop class or something. We're gonna take this panel off. But yeah, I've had it off once before. That's how I painted it last time. Maybe I'll get my sawhorses set up and put it on the sawhorses. Maybe I'll get it sanded tonight. Maybe I won't. I don't know. That there. Now I think we have one left back here. Kind of hard with the battery box in the way, but it is what it is. This is where it'd be ideal to have my battery ratchet. Probably not loose enough. Maybe. It was. It got tight. Alright. Now it should come out. Alright, put that there, that there. Let's see. Oh! We have, hang on. I don't want to rip the light bulbs out with the wire harness. So, let's see here. Yeah, it's got some red overspray on it and everything. So, there's our panel off. Yay. So, now I have to get to work. So, next time you see this, it's not going to look so tacky. And get rid of that wannabe chrome lettering. So, I know, right? I think it's because of 10 millimeter. There's 3 sizes that I always use a lot of. 10 millimeter, 13 millimeter, 15 millimeter. 13 and 10, you're going to use more than 15. Anyway, that being said, that's why. Because those are your most used sizes as 10, 13, and 15. But 10 you use more than 13, especially if you're working on smaller trim pieces and stuff like that. Now my tripod's giving me shit. We'll whack it with a freaking 10 millimeter. Anyway, I'm going to go back to just holding it. So that's why there's always 10 millimeters missing, because that's one of the most popular sizes, most used, I should say, not popular, but most used size is 10 millimeter. So which one are you going to drop into the suspension? Which one are you going to drop inside that hidden hole inside the K-member in the frame behind the freaking windshield cowl? The 10 millimeter. That's why nobody has one. So I hope that answers your question. Little chuckle there, but that's why. Because the most used size is probably 10 millimeter. Probably followed closely by 13 millimeter. So, yeah, it's true. And standard sizes are hardly used anymore unless you're working on something pre-1985. It seemed after 87, everything was mostly metric by then. All right. Well, now, Jess, you got me in trouble. I got to get work to do. Just when I was going to sit down and have a glass of water, now I got to get to work. But no big. I'm going to get my sawhorses, get this thing set up, or at least get everything together. Maybe I'll start on it tomorrow or something. So if I do get started on it tomorrow, I'll show the progress if I get it done or not. At least if I can get it stripped down tonight and get it smooth, that'd be great. So anyway, I got to get to work. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Everybody who tuned in, thank you. Thanks for checking in. Everybody, watch out for each other. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time right here on Big E's. Take care and bye for now.